So today we are beginning a new topic, ratio and proportion. You have never done this in the earlier classes, so it is a very new topic, completely new topic. So pay attention so that you follow it. It is quite simple. Now, first of all, ratio means it is a mathematical relationship. Whenever in math we want to show relationship or we want to compare values, okay, between two types of the same thing, then we use a ratio. So that is the meaning of ratio. So it is a mathematical relationship. And it is used to compare values of the same type. Say for example, so your mother has to bake a cake. Then she also makes use of this concept of ratio. If she has to bake cake, there will be a variety of ingredients will go into the cake. So if she hasn't baked a cake before, then she would want to know what is the ratio in which the ingredients are to be put. So she may end up asking someone, and say for example, two ingredients of the cake are flour and milk. So if the ratio that is told to her is 3:2, means if she has to take 3 cups of flour, she'll have to take 2 cups of milk. So one of the places where ratio is used is for cooking in everyday life. Okay. So when I wrote this, I told you that this is read as is to. Is to. So how do we read this? 3 is to 2. So ratios can be read in different ways. One is 3:2. You can simply say 3:2 or 3/2. So these are the different ways in which ratio can be written. Now this is one particular example. Now say for example, you have gone shopping, okay, and on the shelves you can find a variety of say biscuits, and you will see one packet which is 100 grams and it costs rupees 20, and you see another packet of the same biscuits which is 50 grams and it costs rupees 12. Now you would want to compare and see which of the two should you buy so that it will be a better buy for you, like it will be reasonable, okay, it will fall cheaper for you. So what would you do? You will have to compare now both of these. And how would you compare? 20 per gram, what is the rate you will find out. So for 100 grams, if it is 20 rupees, so per gram, you have to divide the rate by the quantity. So when you divide, what will you get? And when you divide 2 by 10, you will get 0.20, meaning for every gram it is 20 paise. Now you will check for the other one also in the similar way, 20 divided by 50. So when you divide, 12 divided by 50. When you divide this, what will happen? Put a point, put a 0, 2s are 100. After once the point is put, we have already learned that we can keep inserting a 0 at every step. So 50, 4s are 200. So here the price per gram is 24 paise. So there it was 20 paise, here it is 24 paise. So when you compare both of these, you come to know that this pack will be cheaper compared to that one. So that is a couple of uses where we use ratio, okay, in our everyday life. Now in ratios, one thing you need to remember is both the terms of the ratio should be of the same unit. Say for example, here if we are talking about ingredients of the cake, so both are ingredients of a cake only. Okay, but we won't be comparing two values of very different kind. Like for example, we won't compare say blackboard to table or something like that. Okay, such weird comparisons won't be done. That is one thing. Secondly, whenever these ratios are required in a different way, like for example, now your mother is not happy with just making a cake with 3 cups of flour and 2 cups of milk. Say for example, your family is very big and this will be insufficient. Okay, so she wants to increase the quantity. Then how would she increase? She has to increase both of them in the same relation, in the same proportion. So if she wants to increase it 3 times, she'll multiply the quantity of flour by 3, and also in the same, with the same number she will multiply the milk also. Okay, so if she wants to make it thrice the quantity, 3 times the quantity, she'll multiply this by 3 and also this by 3. So what will it become? 3 3s are 9 and 2 3s are 6, meaning she'll have to take 9 cups of flour and 6 cups of milk. Okay, so the ratio can be multiplied or divided by the same number, similarly like fractions. Okay, and we can show the ratio also as a fraction. I showed you a little while earlier that this could be written like this. So when we find out equivalent fractions, how do we find out equivalent fractions? By multiplying the numerator and the denominator by the same number. And we can also get equivalent fractions by dividing by the same number. But of course here we cannot divide because both of these are prime numbers and they are not divisible by any common number. So that is regarding ratios. They can be scaled up by multiplying or they can be scaled down by dividing. But what have we to remember? That both the numbers have to be divided and multiplied by the same number. Now, in any ratio, I just told you there are 2 terms. Say for example, 3:2. So in this ratio, the first term is called the antecedent. And the second term is called the consequent. So this is the name of the 2 terms of the ratio. Okay. Now I've drawn a picture over here. Probably it's not very clear to you, but you can see 8 boxes drawn and 6 of them I have colored blue and 2 of them I've colored yellow. So if I want to write the ratio of blue to yellow, then how would I write it? Now this is very important. How would I write the ratio blue to yellow? So there are 6 blues and 2 yellows. So I will write it as 6:2. Okay. Now this one I can reduce it because I know that both the numbers are divisible by 2. So 2 divides 6 3 times and 2 divides 2 once. Okay. So if you look at this figure, for every 3 blues, there is 1 yellow. That is what this ratio is saying. And here for every 6 blues, there is 2 yellows. Okay. So that is the way it will be written. So here did you see that where I told about reducing the ratio? So here it is reduced. Here it is multiplied and you got that thing. And if I increase this picture, I will again draw 3 blues and 1 yellow. And how much will that totally become? 9 blues and then I will get 3 yellows. Okay. So ratio is not only shown like this, part to part, because blue is one part of the figure and yellow is one part of the figure. It can also be shown for the whole to part. Say for example, the whole figure, how many are there? 8. So if I am writing the whole to blue, means compared to the whole, how many blues are there? So if the whole is 8 parts, the blue is how much? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I reduce this, I will get 4:3 because 2 divides 8 4 times and 2 divides 6 3 times. Okay. So you have to be very careful that the ratio is asked for what to what. So if it is blue to yellow, blue is 6, yellow is 2. So you write 6:2. Now if this question was asked in another way, if the ratio is asked yellow to blue, then yellow is how much? 2 and blue is how much? 6. Then your ratio will change. Here it was 6:2, here it will become 2:6 because the yellow is 2 and the blue is 6. Now it can be reduced, so you reduce. 2 divides 2 once and 2 divides 6 3 times. Okay, so we just got the opposite of 3:1, 1:3. Similarly here, whole to blue we wrote, so we wrote 4:3. Now if it was yellow to whole, yellow to the whole thing. So how many parts of yellow are there? 2. And how many holes in the whole figure? How many parts are there totally? How many parts are there? 8. So what will it become now? 2:8. And both of these are divisible by 2. 2 divides 2 once and 2 divides 8 4 times. Okay. So these are the different type of questions that can be asked in ratio.